হ্যালো। আজকে যে টপিকটা ডিসকাস করব it is nutritional care in weight management. Okay, now what do you understand by the meaning weight management? Weight management is the process of adopting long term lifestyle modification. ঠিক আছে, লাইফস্টাইল মডিফিকেশন মানে তুমি যে কী ধরনের নিজের লাইফস্টাইলটা লিড করছো সেটা মডিফাই, মানে সেই যেটার মধ্যে আমাদেরকে চেঞ্জেসগুলো আনতে হবে in order to maintain a healthy body weight on the basis of a person's age, sex and height. Okay, methods of weight management include eating a healthy diet and increasing physical activities. আমরা জানি যে সবাই ভাবে যে একটা ডায়েটিশিয়ান একটা ডায়েট চার্ট দেবে, সেটাতে পেশেন্টরা ভাবে কি ওই ডায়েটটা মেনটেন করে ওদের ওয়েটটা রিডিউস হয়ে যাবে। এটা মানে পুরোটা সত্যি নয়, আমি যেটা বলতে চাই। ওকে, একটা ওয়েট রিডিউস করার জন্য ডায়েট যেরকম জরুরি আছে, ঠিক আছে, ডায়েট করা যেরকম জরুরি আছে সেখানে একটুখানি ফিজিক্যাল অ্যাক্টিভিটিস করাটাও জরুরি, ঠিক আছে। ওই জন্য আমরা যখন ওয়েট ম্যানেজমেন্ট বলি না, তাই জন্য এখানে একটা হেলদি ডায়েট আমরা তাকে প্রেসক্রাইব করব, অ্যালং উইথ ফিজিক্যাল অ্যাক্টিভিটিস তাকে ইনক্রিজ করতে হবে। নেক্সট আমরা মুভ অন করছি যে আমার ওয়েট ম্যানেজমেন্টের অবজেক্টিভসটা কী। Explain the importance of maintaining a desirable weight throughout the life. Enumerate the guideline for calculating the ideal body weight. Describe the causative factors, prevention and treatment of various conditions related to weight management, যেটা হচ্ছে তোমার obesity বা underweight। আমরা আমাদের ওয়েট ম্যানেজমেন্ট করা মানে হচ্ছে উই হ্যাভ টু টার্গেট ফর দ্য আইডিয়াল বডি ওয়েট। এবার আইডিয়াল বডি ওয়েট বলতে গিয়ে আমরা কি বুঝবো, এটা হচ্ছে একটা ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালে হাইটে হিসাবে তার বডির কতটা ওয়েট থাকতে হয়, ঠিক আছে, সেটাকে আমরা আইডিয়াল বডি ওয়েট বলে ডিসক্রাইব করি। এ ইজ অ্যাভারেজ ডেইলি লেভেল অফ ইনটেক অফ সাফিসিয়েন্ট নিউট্রিয়েন্টস to meet the nutrient requirements of nearly all healthy people. ঠিক আছে, it is just by the Food and Nutrition Board. তোমরা অনলাইন যদি খোঁজো তাহলে তোমরা পেজ RDA 2010 বলে একটা চার্ট পেয়ে যাবে। সেখানে লেখা আছে যে সেডেন্টারি, সেখানে ডিসক্রাইব মানে ভাগ করা আছে যে সেডেন্টারি মেল, মডারেট মেল আর হেভি ওয়ার্কিং মেলের কতটা ওয়েট থাকা উচিত, তাকে কতটা কিলো ক্যালোরিজ অফ এনার্জি দেওয়া উচিত, তোমার ফ্যাট কতটা, ভিজিবল ফ্যাট বেসিক্যালি কতটা দেওয়া উচিত, আর প্রোটিন কোয়ান্টিটি কতটা থাকা উচিত, ঠিক আছে। এগুলো সব এস্টাবলিশ করে হচ্ছে তোমার ICMR, which is your Indian Council of Medical Research. ওকে, while providing food or while making a diet chart, আমাদের সবসময় একটা ডায়েটের গাইডলাইন্স আছে যেটা আমাদেরকে ফলো করতে হবে। গোপালাননের বইতে তুমি ইন্ডিয়ান ফুড কম্পোজিশন টেবলস, মানে হি হ্যাজ রিটেন দ্যাট বুক, ওনার ওই বুকে তুমি টেবলসগুলো পাবে যেখানে মেনশন ইউ উইল ফাইন্ড দ্য নিউট্রিটিভ ভ্যালু অফ ইয়োর ফুড। ওকে, তো দিস আর অল materials which help you to calculate the energy for the person, to calculate the energy amount of food, to make a diet chart for the person, keeping in mind the body weight of the person. Okay, now the last point যেটা হচ্ছে describe the causative factors, prevention and treatment of various conditions relating to weight management. মানে ওয়েট ম্যানেজমেন্ট যদি ঠিকঠাক না হয় বা আমি যদি একটা আইডিয়াল ওয়েট না মেনটেন করে থাকি, তাহলে তার কজেসে আমার কী হতে পারে, ঠিক আছে। আমরা অ্যাজ এ হিউম্যান বিং we have a tendency to overeat or not eat at all. Okay, so what is the result of overeating? Overeating will lead you to weight gain of weight, okay, which will ultimately lead you in becoming an obese, and if you do not eat properly, then you will suffer with malnutrition, or you become underweight. Okay, So next slide যেটা হচ্ছে সেটা describe করব weight imbalance. Now obesity is one of the major public health problem of the world, earlier a problem of developed nations. It is now increasingly afflicting our country. Maintenance of a fairly constant body weight is vital importance in increasing the life expectancy as well as quality of life and individual communities. Next slide, we are discussing the prevalence of obesity. So as you can see, it is a very concerning problem in developing countries, also in our developed countries as well. Okay, ইনক্রিজিং ওবেসিটি দেখা গেছিল প্রথমে আমেরিকাতে, যেটা স্লাইড বলছে আর কি, তারপরে আস্তে আস্তে ইট ইজ স্প্রেডিং টু ইন্ডিয়ানস অলসো। ওকে, আর এটা কোনো মানে ইয়ে নেই যে ওবেসিটি শুধু অ্যাডাল্টসদেরই হয়, দের আর চিলড্রেন হু অলসো সাফার ফ্রম ওবেসিটি। নেক্সট আমরা যাব যে ওবেসিটির ডেফিনিশনে। Now what is obesity? Obesity is a medical condition in which excess body fat has accumulated to the extent that it has an adverse effect on the health. ঠিক আছে, আমরা সবাই মোটা হই, আমাদের সবারই বডিতে ফ্যাট আছে, কিন্তু ওবেসিটি মানে হচ্ছে এত বডিতে ফ্যাট, এক্সেসিভ ফ্যাট অ্যাকুমুলেট হয়ে গেছে যাতে ওটা আমাদের হেলথটাকেও এফেক্ট করা শুরু করে দিয়েছে। ঠিক আছে, যাতে লেটার উই গো ইনটু হোয়াট আর দোজ হেলথ প্রবলেমস দ্যাট হ্যাজ বিন ক্রিয়েটেড বাই দি ওবেসিটি। Now BMI and waist to hip ratio. What is BMI and what is waist to hip ratio? We all know that we are not able to calculate the direct body fat. Okay, so we require indirect methods in order to calculate the body fat of an individual. So BMI full form means mass body index. BMI is calculated by dividing the subject's mass, which is in kg, divided by the square of his or her height in meters. Okay, so classification of BMI and the range it is given. BMI of 18.5 to 24.9 is always a normal weight. If your BMI is below 18.5, then you are underweight. If it is between 25 to 29.9, you are overweight. 30 থেকে 34.9 থাকলে class 1 obesity, 35.0 to 39.9 থাকলে class 2 obesity, and if it is above 40, then you have your class 3 obesity. Okay, there is the formula of the BMI is also mentioned there. It is BMI equals to weight in kg divided by height in meters square. Now we move on to waist to hip ratio. Okay, now what is the meaning of waist to hip ratio? It is the ratio of your waist divided by the hip circumference. You can measure it in centimeter as well. Okay, the waist in centimeter divided by the hip circumference in centimeter. Okay, for male, if the ratio is greater than, or the answer is greater than 1.0, that means they are having abdominal obesity, or and for female, if it is more than 0.85, then they are also having abdominal obesity. Okay, lower trunk fatness, lower waist to hip ratio is often referred to as gynoid obesity. Upper or central fatness, higher waist to hip ratio is called aneroid obesity. Now we will go into what is the meaning of obesity. As we already know that obesity is a condition resulting from excessive deposition of body fat. Okay, the fat deposition takes place because over a time people have consumed diets which provided more energy than they were able to expend for their physical activity and growth. Here I would like to say that not only diet high in fat, but also sometimes people consuming long term diet which is high in carbohydrate may lead them to have obesity. Move on to the factors which cause your obesity. Okay, we have genetic susceptibility, dietary habits, physical activity, psychological factor, hormonal imbalance, birth weight, and child growth pattern. In next slide we will be discussing it in brief. So now first we go to genetic susceptibility. A number of genes are implicated in pathogenesis of obesity. The two genes which recently have received much attention are the OB gene and beta-3 adrenoreceptor gene. Okay, the OB gene produces leptin, a hormone which is normally secreted from fat cells. Mutations in the OB gene causes your obesity. And beta-3 adrenoreceptor gene, it regulates the resting metabolic rate and oxidation of fat in human beings. Okay, now next is your dietary habits. Eating habits may lead people to obesity. Those who eat food at a very fast rate tend to chew food less and land up eating more food. They tend to become overweight, and at the end they become obese. Similarly, nibbling between meals may contribute extra calories to the total intake that is normally realized. Also, those who tend to eat whenever food, whatever food of their liking is available, or those who just follow meal times even if they are not hungry, tend to put on weight. And likely, if people tend to eat more, okay, then they tend to gain weight more. Okay, এখানে একটা এক্সাম্পল দিয়েছে, ফর এক্সাম্পল mothers generally eat leftovers of children because they want to avoid wastage of food, adding more calories to their own calorie intake. This is like a household example যেখানে তোমার dietary habit এর মধ্যে changes হচ্ছে, যেখানে তোমার overeating হচ্ছে এটা. Next we go on to your physical activity. Sedentary lifestyle with lack of an exercise schedule tends to make people obese. As we approach middle age, our physical activity generally decreases. এই physical activity-টা কেন decrease হয়? কেন কি আমরা তখন we might be sick, okay, we might be having arthritis, or we might be having a cardiac disease. এই কারণের জন্য তোমার ফিজিক্যাল অ্যাক্টিভিটিস কমে যায়। কিন্তু যেখানে ফিজিক্যাল অ্যাক্টিভিটিস কমছে সেখানে খাওয়াটা তো কমছে না। ওকে, তো ওই কারণের জন্য when we are doing no physical activity but we are consuming the same amount of food, then that will lead to an imbalance, and hence we tend to gain weight, and hence we become obese over a period of time. Psychological factor. Lonely, bored, and depressed individuals may find eating when there is nothing else to do. Okay, এটা খুব common example, এটা মোটামুটি সবাই করে. Eating provides diversion, resulting in increased consumption of calories. People do stress eating. যারা বেশি স্ট্রেসে থাকে তারা অনেক সময় stress eating করে, তো that also sometimes lead to your weight gain. Hormonal imbalance. Certain diseases associated with secretion of hormones, example hypothyroidism, hypogonadism, and Cushing's syndrome, exhibit obesity as one of the characteristic features. A large number of persons who are unsuccessful in reducing their weight tend to cite hormonal imbalance as causative factor for their obesity, but the fact is that only a very small percentage actually suffers from it. Okay, next আমরা যাচ্ছি birth weight and child growth pattern. It has been shown that slow growth of the fetus in uterus and during infancy is followed by accelerated weight gain in childhood. This combination of small size at birth and accelerated childhood weight has been found to be associated with adiposity as well as insulin resistance in later life. Next we will discuss the energy balance. Obesity is a state of positive energy balance created by consumption of calories in high amount, which is excessive to the total energy expenditure by the body. মানে যতটা এনার্জি এক্সপেন্ডিচার হচ্ছে তার কম্প্যারিজনে সে বেশি খাচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে, এবার বাকিটা হচ্ছে টি কীভাবে ক্যালকুলেট করা হয় সেটা দেখিয়েছে। নাও নেক্সট উই মুভ অন টু metabolic aberration and clinical manifestation. এটা হচ্ছে যে if the person is obese for a long time, then what will happen to the body of the patient, or what will be the patient going through. Okay, first one is your abnormal glucose tolerance. The body will not be producing a good amount of insulin, যার জন্য গ্লুকোজ টলারেন্সটা অ্যাবনর্মাল হয়ে যাবে। নেক্সট হচ্ছে হাইপার ইনসুলেমিয়া, means higher amount of insulin in the body than normal. It is associated with diabetes mellitus too, but in this case it may not be a diabetic. The patient may not be diabetic. Okay, insulin is a hormone that is produced by the pancreas which helps to regulate the blood sugar. But যেহেতু already আমার abnormal glucose tolerance চলছে, যার জন্য আমার সুগার রেগুলেশনটাও কিন্তু ভুলভাল হচ্ছে বডিতে। নেক্সট হচ্ছে আমার হাইপার ট্রাইগ্লিসারাইডেমিয়া, which means high level of triglycerides in the body. Now if this situation is elevated for a long period of time, it may contribute to pancreatitis or hardening of the arteries. Okay, this increases the risk of stroke, heart attack and heart diseases in the patient. Next is your hypercholesterolemia, which means high amount of cholesterol is present in the blood. Okay, when high amount of cholesterol is present in the blood, it can limit the blood flow, increasing the risk of heart attack or stroke to the patient. Moving forward to increase of free fatty acid. Most obese patients have elevated plasma level or free fatty acid. Free fatty acid are known to cause peripheral or muscle insulin resistance in the body. Next, we move on to hyperuricemia. Hyperuricemia is a condition of excess increase of uric acid in the blood. Now, what uric acid elevation can lead to your chronic kidney diseases, gout, pseudogout, and various forms of kidney diseases. Now, moving on to the consequences. Consequences are increase in degenerative diseases, infertility, sleep disorder, and psychological problem. Increase in degenerative diseases also include risk of morbidity or mortality, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, syndrome X, gallbladder, arthritis, and gout. Now, till now we have discussed the consequences of obesity. তার আগে আমরা ডিসকাস করলাম যে কি হয় বডিতে, কি চেঞ্জেস হবে, ঠিক আছে। তার আগে আমরা ডিসকাস করেছি যে ফ্যাক্টরসগুলো which are affecting for a person to become an obese, what is the type of energy balance in the body. Now we will discuss the management of obesity. Moving on to the topic dietary and lifestyle modification. Dietary modification, physical activity, behavior and lifestyle modification. Pharmaceutical management includes appetite and intestinal absorption. Surgical management, gastric restrictive surgery, duodenal bypass, jaw wiring, liposuction. Okay, and preventive aspects. Dietary and lifestyle modification. The dietary modifications serve as a guide for the obese to make healthy life choices. Okay, now when we are doing dietary modification, we come to the idea like energy, how much energy is to be given to the patient. Okay, So any degree of weight loss, the energy has to be restricted to the level enables mobilization of fat stores for carrying out the daily activities of the body. The energy requirement can be determined on the basis of ideal body weight. Three main categories depending upon the individual size and level of activities been determined on the basis of ideal body weight and have been mentioned in the table below. Activity: sedentary, moderate, heavy. Obese, sedentary যেখানে দেওয়া আছে, that is our ideal male or female. Okay, obese, normal, underweight. If the patient is obese, then he should be having 20 to 50 kilocalorie kg per ideal body weight, okay, per day. If it is a male, then the ideal body weight of a sedentary male is supposed to be 60 kg. Okay, and if it is a female, then it is supposed to be 55 kgs. Okay, so how do you calculate the energy requirement? You multiply 20 into 60, then whatever the answer comes, that is the provided calorie for the day. Okay, for moderate you have 30 and for heavy you have 35. So basically we don't give less than 1200 kilocalorie to a patient, you know. If you decrease the calorie below 1200, then the patient might be having complications coping up with the dietary modification. Rest for normal and underweight তোমরা নিজেরাই সেটা দেখে নিতে পারবে ক্যালকুলেশন করে যে কতটা কি আসছে। Now next we move on to your protein. Adequate amount of protein should be included in the diet to ensure proper metabolism and prevent weakness, which is usually experienced by patients after weight loss, which is achieved by consuming an unbalanced diet. About 1 gram protein per kg body weight can be provided to the patient. Okay, now moving on to fat. Fats, being a concentrated source of energy, need to be restricted. Excess dietary fat promotes much more of weight gain than carbohydrate or protein of the same amount. Not more than 20% of the total energy should come from fat. Foods in saturated fatty acids such as red meats, whole milk products should be strictly avoided because they contain a lot of visible fat. Okay, now next we have carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is the form of carbohydrate in the form of non-starchy polysaccharides provide bulk and satiety value to the reducing diet, basically, which means carbohydrate containing your insoluble fibers. Okay, they are also important for regular bowel movements, constipation being a common problem among obese. So you should always see that soluble থেকেও একটু insoluble fiber তোমাকে include করতে হবে. About 50 to 55% of total calories may come from complex carbohydrate and 10% from your simple carbohydrate. Moving on to vitamins and minerals. If adequate amount of fresh fruits and vegetables are included in the diet, the body's stores of water-soluble vitamins are usually not depleted. However, when we restrict fats for prolonged periods, the diet may be deficient in fat-soluble vitamins A and D. A diet high in sodium may promote retention of fluid in the body. So we will try to give less amount of free sodium or your free table salt. Fluids. Liberal amount of water and 0 calorie fluid may be included in the diet. It may be helpful to have a glass of water before meal to reduce your food intake. Okay, so next these are the dietary modification or the nutrients, how much of what we will be giving to the patient. So next we move on to effects of physical activities. Now what will happen if we add physical activities into the patient? Okay, so when a person is doing physical activities, his or her blood pressure will decrease, body fats will decrease, and there will be an increase of density lipoprotein cholesterol. Okay, this is a good cholesterol because it transfers the cholesterol from rest of a part of a body into the liver, and from the liver the cholesterol is removed. Makes the heart stronger and more efficient. Okay, it increases the bone density as well, reduces the risk of cancer, and increases the longevity of the patient. Next, we have your pharmaceutical management. A person with obesity and having the above clinical manifestation may require pharmaceutical management in addition to dietary and lifestyle modification. Okay, for conditions like hyperuremia and hyperinsulinemia and hypertriglyceridemia, etc., they may have to take drugs or medicines along with the diet in order to normalize those conditions. And also, if the obesity is too chronic, for example, for obesity grade 2 and obesity grade 3, anti-obesity drugs might be prescribed, for the patient. The anti-obesity classification is given on the slide, so you just read through it. Okay, so next we move on to surgical management of obesity. Surgical management include your gastric restrictive surgery, jejunal bypass, and jaw wiring or liposuction. So what is the gastric restrictive surgery? It is the current gold standard for bariatric surgery procedures. It involves use of a stapling device to create tiny stomach pouch by partitioning the stomach near its upper end to reduce the capacity of the stomach. On an average, the patient loses 40% of weight by this procedure. Next, we have jejunal bypass. Absorptive surface of the small intestine can also be reduced surgically, called the jejunal ileal bypass. Okay, some complications arise by this method. This is a very complicated process actually. Now we move to jaw wiring. Wiring the jaws closed has been effective in reducing weight because wiring the intake liquid that can be taken through a straw, liquids and supplements that will provide adequate nutrition are given. Liposuction. Liposuction is a cosmetic surgical procedure, procedure for a different bariatric surgery. It involves aspiration of subcutaneous fat using thin cannulas inserted by making incisions. Okay, so though surgical management in some cases has proved to be of significance, but it is not always prescribed, or it is not always good. Liposuction is very common, ওটা তো সবাই করে, জানাও আছে, বাট jejunal bypass এগুলো একটু কমপ্লিকেটেড সার্জারি মেথডস, এইগুলো মানে ফর আ লং টার্ম এগুলো প্রফিটেবল হয় না আর কি. Now we move on to topic, which is your underweight. Okay, what is underweight? Underweight results when there is a negative energy balance in the body, or failure to consume proper food which is further insufficient to fulfill the energy requirement of a body for whatever reason it may be, and it is responsible for not maintaining the optimal weight. Okay, so etiology means causes: poor selection of food, physical activity, mother's health status, pathological condition, and genetic predisposition. Here I would like to explain mother health status. Poor nutritional status of a girl child coupled with undernutrition during pregnancy results in low body weight management infant being born. low body weight infant being born. These children born are at a disadvantage right from infancy and fail to reach the optimum weight in their adulthood. Okay, our pathological condition মধ্যে illness can affect weight status in number of ways. For example, fevers and infections increase the demand for energy, which if not met because of the poor appetite or a loss of poor appetite may lead to loss of their weight. Genetic predisposition. The weight of an individual is inherited basically from his biological mother. In the event of biological mother being thin, there is 75% likelihood of the individual being thin as well. Okay, these are some of your etiologies. So next we discuss what are the metabolic aberrations and clinical manifestations. Edema, iron deficiency, weight loss, bradycardia or bradycardia, hypertension, constipation and abnormalities of nervous systems. These are some of your clinical manifestations of your obesity, of your weight, underweight. How do you manage underweight? Dietary management. The diet prescribed for the effective weight gain should be high in calories, high in protein, fats and carbohydrates. Okay, energy requirement is based on activity level for obese, downward and underweight subjects. So it is the same thing again here in sedentary. And for underweight you take 35 and then you multiply with your ideal body weight, for which male it is 60 kgs and female it is 55 kgs. So you will get the amount of energy that you should be giving to the person. Okay, now nutrients. Protein are required for tissue building as well as to take care of the daily wear and tear of the tissues. Underweight individuals generally have depleted lean body mass and poor reserves of amino proteins. Thus, the patient may benefit by consuming around 1.2 gram per kg body weight of protein per day, which is high protein. Okay, so basically high protein diet should be given to the patient. Fat. We know that fats are concentrated source of energy. 1 gram equals to 9 kilocalories of fat. Okay, they are capable of increasing the energy at a very high and a very fast rate. About 30% of calories should come from your unsaturated sources of fat. So the difference is in obesity we are having low amount of fat, and in underweight, for underweight patients we are giving them a high amount of fat. Okay, now carbohydrates. Liberal amount of easy to digest carbohydrates should be included in the diet, which means your simple carbohydrate diet. The intake of dietary fiber should be minimized so as to prepare meals which are nutrient dense and have a small volume. Include more of high calorie vegetables like potatoes, colocasia, kochu, okay, and yam instead of radish, cucumber, leafy vegetables which is low in the carbohydrate content. All cereals provide high calories at low cost and should provide about 55 to 65% of your total kilocalories. Next we come to vitamin and minerals. If the diet provides good amount of fresh fruits and vegetables, vitamin or mineral supplements are usually not required. However, if the patient indicates clinical signs of a severe nutritional deficiency, it may be imperative to use supplements or employ other essential medical measures. So with this we come to the end of today's session. You might want to go through a clinical nutrition book or clinical nutrition book, the one which is in your study material, or the one which you have, clinical nutrition, which is by Gibney or Anshia, in order to see the sample diets for a obese patient and a underweight patient. Okay, so thank you.